What's going on YouTube? So we are live, and if you're catching this on the replay, don't feel left out. You can leave a comment below if you have a question. But what we're going to get into today, as soon as this guy's noisy backing up routine stops, is this video is kind of in response to a lot of the comments I got on the repair bill video. What's going on, guys? What's going on, Motor T? What's going on, Peterbilt 379? What's going on, guys? So this live feed / Q&A is in response to the guys that think I should have done the repair work on the truck myself. You should have done it yourself. You could have saved $6,000. One, no. What's going on, Brandy? What's going on, Chio? What's going on, Mad Boy? So we'll get to Q&A in a little bit, but this is something that's really important. I talked about before. What's going on, Big Trucker Show? You guys can check out his channel here on YouTube. He's starting out on YouTube, the Big Trucker Show. You know, this is something that's really important in business, and it's called time management. All right. So at a certain point, when you reach a certain level of fleet ownership or this business, there becomes a point when your time is more valuable than the money that it costs to get something done. Okay. I am starting to reach that point. All right. No, this has nothing to do with e-logs. I'm not talking about time management as far as e-logs goes. This has nothing to do with the hours of service. This is about time management on the business level. Okay, managing the business aspect of your time. How much time are you spending on maintenance, operations, dispatching, acquiring equipment, getting drivers, processing applications? All of those things take time. Those are all things that I have a part in a little bit of a piece of, okay, that I have to do work with. All right, so for the last video, if you did not see it, it was about a $7,218 repair bill. Okay, that's the repair bill I had on this truck. It wasn't necessarily repairs. Okay, obviously it's a little bit of clickbait to get you in there to realize what I'm trying to show you, which is these are preventative maintenance items that are necessary to get done to make sure that the truck is running optimally for a long period of time. All right, so it doesn't break down on you. Okay, it's much cheaper to do the preventative maintenance than it is to wait for the truck to break down on the side of the road, call a tow truck or a service truck to come fix you while you're on the side of the road, get half-ass work. It's not good. Okay, so a lot of guys told me on the comments, some of them I deleted because they were just absolutely ridiculously inflammatory. Okay, but some of these comments you guys were saying, and I'm listening to you, okay, I understand where you're coming from with this, but this no longer applies to what I'm doing. Okay, so you guys were saying you should get all the work done yourself. You should do it yourself. You could have saved X amount of dollars by doing the repair job on the truck yourself. And you guys know, and you can even check in the about section of this channel, I call myself a do-it-yourself mechanic. Okay, I like to work on the truck myself as much as possible, but there comes a point where that is no longer practical. Okay, there comes a point in fleet ownership where it is no longer practical to work on the truck yourself because of the time involved that you have to take away from the business to be physically working on the truck. Okay, so it was 34 hours of labor. The labor, okay, the truck was actually in the shop for 4 days. It was 34 hours of labor Okay, so the truck wasn't down 34 hours, it was down 4 days. Okay, during that 4-day period of that truck being down while it was being repaired, I purchased my 4th truck. I have been processing driver applications, doing interviews. I got the driver ready to go. We flew the driver down to Houston. While the woodshed was in the shop, I took the green truck, the 4th truck we just bought. I took that truck from Springfield down to Houston. I got the graphics done. We flew the driver in. We got him orientated. We made sure everything was good to go with him. We got the truck set up. Everything's good to go. We got the plates put on the truck. All of that stuff takes time. If I was still in Springfield or wherever, if I was still at home or in Springfield working on the truck myself, who was going to do all of the other things for truck number 4? Nobody. I had to do that stuff. So if I would have done the mechanical labor myself on this truck, it actually would have cost me more money than to go with truck number 4 and get that truck set up and get that truck rolling. By the time we came back, by the time the truck was done, by the time this truck was done being repaired, truck number 4 was ready to go. We were rolling from Houston down to Laredo, back up to Springfield, and then our driver took it the rest of the way, the load the rest of the way up to Michigan. So guess what? We were making money on a new truck while the other truck was in the shop. That's called time management. That's called practicality, okay? And hold on a second. They're going to get my paperwork real quick. Yeah, I'm trying to find them. Here you go, man. You need my keys? Yeah. Alright, hold on. Let me roll my window. Alright, bro. Alright. Sorry, guys. I had to give him my keys. My paperwork got chucked over on the floor because it was raining out here. But anyway, so I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, because this is very important. Alright? I don't say this stuff just to get views. I could be doing something else right now, like processing applications or doing interviews, which is something I have to do after I'm done with this live feed. You know, so during the time that this truck was in the shop, I was getting the next truck set up. I planned it out that way on purpose. Okay, it didn't just happen by chance. These things don't just happen by chance. You have to plan it out. Okay, what's more efficient? Me physically working on the truck, because yes, I have the knowledge and the ability to work on the truck myself. But just because you know and you could do something doesn't mean you should. Okay, you have to weigh the time cost. Okay, you have to weigh the cost of the time versus the cost of how much it's going to cost you to pay somebody to do the work for you. It's called automation. Okay, I talked about that before. I don't know if you guys understood what I was saying then. Maybe this will help you understand it a little bit better. That's why I'm doing this video, because it's kind of me repeating myself, which I don't like to do. But I can't stress this enough. If you want to be a fleet owner, you can't do everything yourself. Okay? It's not, and that doesn't just come down to maintenance. Now, you need to be knowledgeable. You need to know about the equipment. You need to know what's wrong with it. You need to know what needs to be done to the equipment to maintain your fleet. That does not mean you need to fix every little thing yourself. At some point, you will realize that it is not cost effective for you to get out in the shop and work on the truck yourself when you can hire somebody to do that for you, so you can focus on other important tasks that make the business more money. Okay, it made me more money to pay the shop to fix the truck and have a 4th truck rolling than it would for me to save $2,500 in labor. because that's all I paid in labor was $2,500. It was worth it to me to spend the $2,500 in labor so that I could get my 4th truck set up. You guys understand that now? I hope. So we can get into some Q&A now. If you guys have questions, I'm going to scroll back here real quick and acknowledge everybody's existence. Show live chat. Okay, I think it's time to stop driving and control your small business. Not quite yet. I can still control about, I can still do about 90% of what I need to do through my phone. The only times I really need to be in the office is to handle tax paperwork and compliance paperwork, which doesn't take that long. It's just something that has to be done. I did a lot of that stuff. I was just at home for 4 days. I was working on the house and, doing paperwork, getting the taxes filed, all that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff I was doing on my home time. So even though I was on home time, there is no such thing as vacation for me. Okay, not yet. I will get to the point where I will eventually be able to have my first vacation in, 7 years. But, that's coming down the road. You have to build up to that. A lot of people want to go out there and go have the nice car and the nice house and the vacation right away. It doesn't work that way. And that actually will put you out of business doing that kind of stuff. But ultimately, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying here about you don't have to do it yourself, okay? You don't have to do all the maintenance yourself. And in fact, it actually costs you less money to pay somebody to do the labor than it does to do it yourself and take time away from the operation aspect of your business, okay? For example, my time personally, to me, is probably worth over $200 an hour for the amount of work that I do. Okay, for the operations aspect of the business, for the management of the money, for the management of just everything that I have to do to run this business with 4 trucks, my time cost is probably around $200 an hour. That's the value that I bring to my company. Maybe more than that. So $75, it doesn't make sense for me to pay myself $75 an hour, essentially. Why would I try to save myself $75 an hour when really I'm costing myself $125 an hour? If you subtract the $75 in labor cost, I really, you guys can do the math on that, right? Does that make sense? Like, if I'm worth $200 an hour, why would I do something that's only worth $75 an hour to me when I can be doing something that's worth $200 an hour? You see what I'm saying? So you have to place yourself as the business owner. You have to place yourself in the role that creates the most, that generates the most value for the company. Okay? And so people are going to get upset at you as the fleet owner, seeing that you're in the office all the time or you're not driving anymore or whatever. Eventually that point will come. But what those people don't realize is my cost value, my time value is much better placed somewhere in the operations of the business than just driving a truck. At a certain point that will happen. Okay? You have to decide ultimately when that point is. But, for me personally, yes, if I didn't have anything else to do, yeah, I could have done some of the stuff on the truck, but there's also a flaw in the logic, and some of the comments on that video is, oh, you could have saved $6,000. Wrong. I only spent $2,500 in labor. At the most, I would have saved $2,500. That's it. That's not worth 4 days of my time. $2,500 is not worth 4 days of my time. Okay? As a company, we can generate a lot more than $2,500 in 4 days. Trust me. Okay? It's not worth my time to work on the truck myself if it's only going to cost me $2,500 in labor. It's just not. Some very good comments you guys have here. I appreciate you. I'm going to try to find the questions in here. There's a lot of comments already. If you guys would, I'd appreciate a like and share to share this stuff out, because this is the stuff that people aren't going to tell you. Okay? Nobody's going to tell you this game. Nobody's going to give you away the game of this business. This is a piece of the game here, okay? Time management as the business owner, as the operations manager of the company is huge, okay? So many people will focus on the wrong things. They'll be like, oh, I got a huge repair coming. I'm just going to order all the parts myself and do it myself. And then they spend 5 days of their time just working on the truck. Your business suffers because of that, guys. Your business is going to suffer because of that. I would pay the $2,500 on 8 trucks. Honestly, $2,500, okay, for 34 hours of labor was not bad. Only paying a rate of $75 an hour for labor. You're not going to find a rate cheaper than that, even if you hire your own mechanic. That's the cost of getting the truck fixed. You have to pay somebody, or you have to do it yourself. And doing it myself doesn't make sense because I can make a lot more money than what it costs me to pay somebody else to do it. Do you buy grass burners? I buy the most fuel efficient trucks I can. Cascadias, ProStars, maybe a Volvo in the future. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Maybe a Peterbilt in the future. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Yeah, and the drivers want to keep rolling as well. Like, you know, if this wasn't the boss truck, right? If it was one of my other trucks, if it was one of my other 3 trucks that I have that broke down, do you think I'm going to take my time, park this truck, fly out to wherever the other truck is, and fix it myself? That's completely asinine. You wouldn't do that. So why would I waste the same amount of time fixing this truck when I can pay somebody else to do it and focus on growing the business? Okay? That's the point I'm trying to make, is you should be focused on growing the business, not doing physical labor. Are the emission systems on your truck giving you trouble? Nope. I just had mine cleaned on this one, and the other 3 trucks are running good. So we're doing pretty well. When you got to go buy specialty tools. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't have the machine. I don't have the $100,000 or $200,000 machine or set of tools to clean a DPF. I don't have the tools to clean a DPF. I don't have the tools to remove springs or to even remove shocks, because you need some really high impact air guns to do that stuff. I don't have the tools for that. Now you're not talking about $2,500. You're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars in tools you have to buy just so you can work on the truck yourself. Now, I carry tools with me. I have a full socket set, cobalt socket set, from the smallest to the biggest that you can get, impact sockets, torque wrench. I have all that stuff with me on the truck. Guess what? Most of the time, I don't even have time to worry about that. If something major breaks, I'm going to take it into the shop because my time is much better spent elsewhere. Maybe once you get real big, you could have your own personal custom truck. Maybe once you get real big, you could have your own personal custom truck, which you take to shop. Maybe. I mean, I don't even worry about that stuff. Do I like e-logs? No, but it is what it is. Probably got to get you on the rerun. All right, Ray, take it easy, man. Gimme, push. I don't know what you mean there. Most of these guys don't get it because they're not on this side. Exactly. I mean, that's why I'm trying to explain it to you guys. But I'm not going to repeat myself again. You guys can watch the replay on that. Anyways, I'm going to answer any questions. And why should we care about this? You don't have to care. It's just me explaining to you why I did what I did. That's it. Any truck stop rolling, you lose the money and time. Maybe the driver of the truck get a runaway. Okay. That's about as fuel efficient as you can get. You could make more money being a male stripper. You're probably right. What do you do, me new? I run a small trucking fleet. I have 4 trucks. And there's lots of videos on this channel that you can watch if you're interested in what's going on over here. There's also some information in the description box below. How much was it to have your DPF cleaned? $700. And bye. I'm going to start moderating these comments because we got a lot of people in here. We got 74 people in here right now and 24 likes. What's up with that? Bunch of stalkers, man. Even if you have a shop, it don't work. It costs a lot of money. Exactly. Having your own shop is expensive as well. Now you have to have real estate. You're probably paying rent on the place, or you're paying a mortgage on the property. You have to have real estate. You have to have a building. You have to have another employee that you have to pay to fix the trucks. You have to pay him decent. Okay, that costs a lot of money to pay a mechanic. It's the same thing. You're still going to pay a mechanic. Either you're, one way or another, you are paying the mechanic. Either you're taking time away from the business to pay yourself to do it because you're using your time. Time is money. Either you're paying yourself to do it or you're paying a mechanic to do it. One way or another, it's costing you money to do the labor. Okay? Now, if you have a one-truck operation, absolutely it makes sense to do the work yourself because the truck's going to be down anyway. If you have a multiple truck operation, it's completely different. And if you're planning on going into the position where you want to have multiple trucks, this information is for you. If you just want to have one truck, then don't even worry about what I'm talking about right now because it's not going to apply to a single truck operation. This is a multi-unit operation that I'm operating. This is what the information is relevant to. You have to spend money to make money. $2,500 is chump change in the grand scheme of things. You probably made 3 times that in a day. Pretty much. I mean, quit picking up lot lizards. Don't break your mind. They will never understand. You're probably right, man. I'm just trying to help you guys realize what it takes to do this. Okay? You don't get to pause. Once you start hiring employees, you don't get to turn it off. There is no turning this off. It's full time. And by full time, I mean if a driver has an issue, they call you at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or 1 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You got to handle that. Most people don't want that level of responsibility. For me, I actually love doing this. People ask me, "Oh, you work so hard. You never get to enjoy life." This is me enjoying life. Doing this, building this business, is me enjoying life. Like, I enjoy doing this. I really do. If I didn't, I wouldn't do it. Like, I'm not, I don't inflict self-harm. Like, that's not that's not what I'm doing here. I actually like doing what I'm doing. Why can't the bicycle stand on its own? That's stupid. Thoughts on Tesla trucks? That's as fuel efficient as you can get. Right now, I like the concept of Tesla. I like the idea of not having to pay for fuel. Electricity, obviously you'll have to pay for electricity, but right now they're saying it's going to be about a 20% more efficient than a diesel truck. We'll see. It remains to be seen whether that's true or not. But I'm excited for the future of this industry and the opportunities for the drivers, the opportunities for the owners to create something better than has ever existed in this industry. That is ultimately my goal, is to create the best driver-based company ever. That's the goal. We want to have the best trucks. We want to have the most driver comfort, the least driver stress, the best pay. We want to have the best of everything for the drivers. And in return, the company's going to make a lot of money. The drivers are going to make a lot of money. That's ultimately the goal. What the hell is that? Are they on break or something? I don't know what that meant. This place is kind of weird, man. I'm picking up down here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and this place is it's brand new. At least I'd never been here before. Like, all the concrete looks brand new and everything. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I lost my train of thought because of that damn horn. What do you think about Little Guy's truck? I think it's pretty damn cool, man. I actually like the new Volvo. You know, I've been pretty much against Volvo forever because of the cost of ownership of them. They kind of have a monopoly on the parts and stuff, but I can't deny it. That new truck he got is really nice. And I got to see inside it a little bit when I was getting this truck inspected, because I had to get the annual inspection done on this truck, and yes, it passed. Had to get the annual inspection done on this truck when I was down there in Houston looking at the trucks and all that. So I saw his new truck there before they put graphics on it. And I have to say, I am impressed with the fit and finish, the features, and just the driver comfort that they have built into the new Volvo. It's actually pretty impressive. You know, it's definitely better than this truck. I mean, this truck's old as dirt, so, you know, almost anything's going to be better than this. But, no, the way it's designed is actually, I think they did a really good job with it. Now, as far as fuel economy and performance and other stuff goes, that remains to be seen. And I'm going to be watching very closely how those trucks perform for RST here. But I'm excited for him, you know. I think that Matt is doing pretty well here. And, you know, for the foreseeable future, I think he's going to be able to make this work for him and his family. So, you know, I know he's excited about it, and, you know, I think the truck is, I think it's a good truck. We'll see what happens, though. Don't moderate. That's censorship. Agreed. It's a write-off. Are you a good mechanic? No, I'm just a driver, dude. Like, I'm not really a mechanic. I learned how to work on the trucks by having stuff break and having to fix it on the road. That's how I learned. I also read my owner's manual. There's a lot of stuff in your owner's manual to teach you how to maintain the truck, when to take it in to get it serviced, etc. That's how I figure out, okay, I need to have this done. I need to have my bushings replaced. I need to have all the stuff I had replaced in that last video. I figured that out based on experience, okay? Based on looking at what's going on with the truck. Have you thought about adding louder air horns? Nope. The best way any truck broke, send it to dealer. When you're leasing a truck that's 3 years old or less, what would you say is the first 3 things you should fix first for preventative maintenance? Probably emissions. Emissions is probably going to need to be cleaned. If it's 3 years old, you'll probably need the emission system cleaned, DEF filter. You know, probably have to look at the brakes really closely. You know, the 3-year mark is one of those areas, if the truck hasn't been maintained, if it's just been ran hard, there's going to be a lot of things. Definitely look at the shocks, definitely look at, you know, the engine, make sure everything that you don't have a blow-by. You can get a dyno, you can put it on a dyno. Does the woodshed have a TV? Nope, it does not. You look super skinny, must have been all that concrete you were busting up. Yeah, man, I've been doing all kinds of work. People that don't have a business mindset just won't understand. You're correct there. What was the first truck you drove? The Cascadia. This truck right here was the second truck I drove. And I've been in this truck for almost 7 years now. I hate Tesla. Diesel for life. Alright, man. Man, it's really starting to rain out there. Let's see. It's really starting to come down out here. Is it possible to work on your tan while you drive? Only half of it. I don't know about that, man. The future's coming. You need to hear the sound of the diesel engine to stay awake? Yeah. The woodshed. Yes, that is the name of my truck. What state am I in? I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I will be heading northbound with this load once they're done. They took my damn keys from me, man. They said they gotta have the keys. Older trucks have no def. I want to roll coal. Alright, man. I see you hooked up Matt with the Volvo. No, he did that on his own, man. RST obviously helped him with that, but he did that on his own. He earned it. So don't get it twisted, guys. Matt actually is, you know, uh, Matt actually does run pretty hard. As long as Woody's doesn't get LNG trucks, I'm good. Anything else, I'm okay with. Nah, I don't plan on going with. I really don't plan on going with any natural gas trucks. It's just not practical for over the road. So right now, the Tesla trucks are not practical for OTR. But I can see the potential, depending on what they come out with for 2019, when they get the final models on the assembly line. Depending what they come out with, like if Tesla could make it happen where they have, I'm not ignoring your comments, Cody. I didn't see it. I scrolled past a lot because there was a shitload of comments. If Tesla can make it to where they can get like 800 or 900 miles per charge, they're going to change the game of the industry. Everybody's going to want one of those trucks because of the cost savings and the practicality of it. It only takes you 30 minutes a day to charge the dang thing. You have a mandatory 30-minute break already. The only thing missing is the charging stations. That's it. The only thing missing from this equation is the charging stations, which Tesla already has a pretty damn good model of rolling those out. So I wouldn't even be worried about the lack of infrastructure at this point. What truck to start? I'm not sure what you mean. I pay every other week just like, 90% of every other job out there. Oh, man. Where did I put that thing? Oh, here it is. They have charging stations for cars everywhere now. Yeah. Starting my own business, which truck do you prefer? I'll tell you right now, it doesn't matter what I prefer. What matters is how well was the truck maintained. That's number one. How well was the truck maintained? How much does it cost? How much money are you going to make? Who's your customers going to be? Who are you going to be leased on to? Are you getting your own authority? Those are the questions you have to answer for yourself. But the truck is just one piece of the puzzle. And the biggest thing is just make sure, it doesn't matter if it's a Peterbilt or a Freightliner or a Kenworth or a Volvo. All jokes aside, all right, real talk. It doesn't matter what brand the truck is. What matters is it going to make you money? And how much money is it going to make you? That's what matters. Whether the truck is ugly, beautiful, show quality truck, whether it rolls coal or sucks death, it doesn't matter. Does the truck make you a profit? That's what you have to answer for yourself. Kind of answered your question with a question, but you have to ask me the right questions. Just asking me, what truck should I buy? That doesn't help you. Me telling you to go buy a Freightliner or a Peterbilt, it doesn't help you because you're not understanding what's important about it. Why do you pay every other week in trucking? Because it takes less time to do payroll that way. There's a cost to doing payroll. There's a cost to doing everything. As we grow and we have more office staff, we'll be able to process payroll on a weekly basis. Right now, it makes more sense to do it on a bi-weekly basis because we have a lot going on. So it's a lot for, 2 or 3 people to handle. It's a lot of work. So that's something that a lot of people don't understand as well, is they'll work for a large carrier and then they'll come to a small carrier and they expect things to operate the same way. They can't operate the same way. We don't have 100 people in the office doing things. You have 4 or 5 people max doing all of the work. That's for the operations. Okay, it's not like we don't have hundreds of people in the office to do payroll every week. We don't have hundreds of people in the office to process applications, to do recruiting. We don't have that. Will we get there? I hope so, and I think we will. Owner ops get paid weekly settlements for owner ops. The company drivers, another thing people don't realize is I have to pay payroll taxes for the company guys. They're on W-2s, right? Payroll taxes, Medicare, state income taxes for the drivers. How much do I pay? I start our drivers at, you have a choice, okay? And, even my current drivers, they have a choice. They can take the salary, which is a minimum starting pay of $50,000 a year. If you run the 3 weeks, 3 days off, they are not 1099. They're on W-2 here. So everything we do is legit. Like, I don't know what people are thinking. So there you go. The Big Trucker Show says I end up managing my money better getting paid bi-weekly. It's the same money either way. If you get paid every week or if you get paid every other week, it's the same money. So if you absolutely need to be paid every week, then you might have money management problems. So that's something you should probably focus on instead of, I need to be paid every week because I spend all my money every week. That's not good, dude. That's not good. I don't get paid every week. I haven't paid myself in months. So it comes down to money management. Like, how am I paying my bills? You don't get taxed more because if you get paid on a 1099, now you have to pay 100%. You have to pay the self-employment tax. Now you have to pay 100% of the Social Security. You have to pay. You're talking about bi-weekly versus weekly. Like, you don't get taxed more. It's the same amount of money, dude. I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, this, either you get it or you don't. I don't. What's the percentage you put back into your business? It's probably close to 90% of what we make goes right back in. I only pay myself my necessities. I pay my mortgage, I pay my light bill, water bill, utilities, etc. Other than that, I don't take money from the business. I don't buy stuff. Like, look at my vape thing, man. Look at this. Yeah, I could go pay myself an owner distribution and go shopping at the vape shop. Look at my vape, dude. Like, I've been using this thing for like 2 years. I don't spend money unless I absolutely have to from the business. That's how much I care about this. Okay? If I didn't give a fuck, I could probably pay myself, $2, $3, $4 a week if I really wanted to. But I don't do that. I put the money back into the business to go buy another truck so I can create another job. In the future, that's going to pay off much more than spending money today. That's one of the reasons why I do it. But also because when you start hiring employees, their livelihood and their family is on your shoulders. Okay? The guys that drive for me, their livelihood is on my shoulders. That's on my back. I have to make sure that they get paid. I have to make sure that everything is done right, that everything runs smoothly so that they can have a job. So it's not, if you take extra profit out of the business just to self-serving, to go buy a fancy car or buy a bigger house, etc. like that, that's not what I'm doing. That's not the point of the business. It's not that I can't go buy a new one. It's that I don't want to because I don't need to spend the extra money. Because guess what? Ultimately, yes, I own 100% of Woody's Transcontinental Freight Lines. I own 100% of my business. So, in theory, the money that's in the business account belongs to me. But that doesn't mean I can spend the money. That just means I have to manage the money and manage it properly so that everybody gets paid, we can grow, and we have money left over. That's how you run a business. You don't just take the money as soon as it comes in and go buy you new clothes, or I'm gonna go buy me a new pair of Nikes. I'm gonna go buy a new pair of Nikes and go to the gym and all this other good. Like, I don't go on lavish vacations like, oh, I'm gonna spend the company money to go on a cruise. Like, no, that's not how this works, man. That's not how this works at all. So anyway, this video is going on too damn long, and I appreciate everybody that commented. If I missed your comment, I apologize. I'm not intending to miss any comments. It's just too much, too many comments to read. What's a good lease purchase company? I'm currently with Prime on the tanker side. I've been driving since 2004, but just got with Prime last year, looking to get my business going. I'm on a rental lease at Prime. Honestly, you've been there a year. If you've been with them on the lease the whole year, there's probably only 2 years left on the lease. You could potentially purchase that truck. Now, you have to be careful with those because on the tanker side, you do a lot more idling with the PTO. But honestly, you've already got 1 year in. Okay? So, what's 2 more years to finish the lease? Either take your lease payout and go buy a different truck, or take your lease payout and buy the truck that you're in today. Because I'll tell you right now, if you stick with it, you will pay more at a dealer than you would through the lease purchase. I've done the numbers multiple times, and with interest on a first truck purchase, okay, this truck right here, all lease payments combined, all interest and everything combined, balloon payments, whatever you want to think happened, I paid $171,000 for this truck. Brand new. If you go to a dealer, brand new, and you buy a truck, the list price is $140,000 to $150,000. After you pay interest, federal excise taxes, sales taxes, etc., and you take it the full 5-year terms, you're going to pay over $200,000 for the same truck. Okay? So, what's better? $171,000 or $200,000? This is how much these trucks cost when you account for interest. Okay? You're going to pay that price. If you want a brand new truck, that's the price you're going to pay. Unless you grow and you can order 2 or 3 or 4 at a time, that's when you start seeing the discounts. Or you pay it off early, right? But if you take it the full term, 5 years to pay off a truck, which is what it took me 5 years to pay off my first truck. If you go to full term from a dealer, you're going to pay around $200,000 for a brand new truck. That's just the reality. Somewhere between $170,000 and $200,000, maybe more. If your interest rate sucks, you might pay $220,000, $230,000 for a truck. It depends on your credit, right? So, what's the better choice? Just stick with what you already have because you have 1 year in, or start over and start the 5 years over again? If you actually want to own a truck, you have to weigh that option, and it's only you can make that decision. On a previous video, you mentioned an audiobook about finances. Can you tell me the name? There was one. There's quite a few. There was one by Dave Ramsey called The Total Money Makeover, but I don't believe that Dave Ramsey has a good aspect of teaching how to do business. He's really good about helping you fix your personal finances, but when it comes to business, there's a different set of principles I follow. So I don't agree with Dave Ramsey on everything by any means, but if you need to get out of personal debt and fix your credit, you need to listen to that book. At least the first few steps of his program. Do you smoke weed in the truck? No. I don't smoke weed at all. I actually don't smoke at all. As always, good advice is to record. Thanks. No problem. Plus, buying the truck you have now, you already know what has been done to it versus getting another one and getting hit with something. Exactly. So that truck is like half a condo on Miami Beach. Pretty much, man. Woody, try not to die out there. I'm out. All right, man. Yep, I'm out too. I appreciate you guys. We had 91 people in here today. Don't forget to give a thumbs up before you leave. That helps the channel. That helps us reach more people, help more people, and get the information out there. So, with that being said, if I missed your question, once this video is done, feel free to leave a comment below, and I will respond to your question as soon as possible. You guys stay safe out there, and try not to die.